Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the show Spin-Off. This is your sports RJ Faisal Ilyas Spin-Off, where we cover ICC Men's T20 World Cup for 2024. We talk about the matches being played and the full analysis of all the matches and the upcoming matches. And most importantly, we talk about Pakistan team, which is already out of this tournament. We could not qualify for the next round of Super 8, where most of the teams have already made it to the Super 8. We saw yesterday matches also ensured that England is through because they beat Namibia and Australia beat Scotland, due to which in the Group B, England end up second and they qualify for the next round. So it's just Pakistan and New Zealand from the last year's semi-finalists who have not made it to the next round, and Pakistan will have to play Asian qualifier for the next T20 World Cup as well. This is happening for the first time for Pakistani team, and we have now seen a lot of Pakistani players coming out and speaking about their performance in the T20 World Cup, which is obviously very dismal and disappointing. And we are listening that we are hearing from the team that there are three groups which are active in the team. One is led by obviously Babar, one is led by Shaheen, and one is led by Rizwan. So all of these kind of information coming out from the camp are further making all the fans disappointed, and all of us are waiting to see what changes PCB comes up with. The PCB chairman Mohsin Naqvi has already spoken about it, that there will be significant changes in the team, in the captaincy as well. Obviously Pakistan has to play test cricket next. They will be up against Bangladesh in the two test series, where for the red ball Shan Masood is your captain, but captaincy will be one thing that will be in question in the next 2-3 months. Alright, so match number 33 against India and Canada, which was supposed to be played in Lauderhill, where Pakistan also had to play against Ireland. So this game also washed out because of the rain in Florida, and the Pakistan game is supposed to be played tomorrow, which we'll have to see as to whether it's played or not, because all of the games so far in Florida Lauderhill have been washed out. And one of the biggest reasons of Pakistan's early exit from this year's World Cup is because of the weather, which has gone against Pakistan's chances to qualify for the next round. We'll move towards the match number 34, which was played between England and Namibia, and we spoke about it yesterday that this game was make it or break it for England, and they had to win it and win it by a high net run rate, which they managed to do, and they beat Namibia by 41 runs through the Duckworth-Lewis method. This game was played at Sir Viv Richards Stadium in West Indies, and Namibia won the toss. They opted to bowl first, and we saw initially that the pitch was helping the pacers, and especially David Wiese, who is one of the known cricketers from Namibia who plays for Lahore Qalandars in PSL. He was bowling very nicely in the beginning, and we saw that England lost their first 2 wickets, their openers, very quickly. But after that, Bairstow managed to give a solid performance, and due to which England could manage to score 122 for 5 in just 10 overs. And there was this rain across the ground, due to which the match was reduced to just 10 overs, and the Duckworth-Lewis method came into play, after which England managed to win the game by 41 runs, and this was enough for England to qualify for the next round. If we talk about the man of the match in this game, Harry Brook, who plays in the middle order for England, he managed to score 47 of 20, and why this performance was crucial for England is that their middle order has been tested for the first time. Actually, they were tested in the game against Australia also, but this time round they managed to do well for England, and now they seem to be sorted in terms of openers doing well, middle order doing well when it's needed, and their spinners, we already know that Adil Rashid and Moeen Ali have been instrumental in England's performances. So all of these bases are covered for England to do well in the next round, and they are the reigning champions. They had beaten Pakistan in the last T20 World Cup, and we know that Pakistan is already out of this tournament. But England has come strong after losing their game against Australia, after which their chances to qualify in the next round were difficult, but they managed to do it. And we see that in these kind of big tournaments, when a team is down and under, is actually the one who comes out as winners, especially in ICC tournaments. But obviously they'll have to fight with all the big teams like India, Afghanistan and South Africa and the likes of Australia. It will not be an easy road for them, but all the exciting matches coming up. We'll talk about this game even further. I want you guys to come up with your point of view on what is happening with Pakistan cricket right now. We have seen that most of the senior players are coming up with a lot of negative talks about the team, and we saw that Imad Wasim also came out and spoke about Pakistan's performance, and he had to say that he was disappointed the way he performed in the game against India, where he had to finish the game for Pakistan but he couldn't do it. But obviously Imad Wasim made the comeback in the team after many years, and it wasn't his fault completely, but for him to come out and say all of this is also a very encouraging thing from his side. But I want you guys to give your feedback on this, and also tell us about who do you think should be the captain for Pakistan in the white ball formats, that is 50 over format and T20 format. We'll talk about it further as well. We'll analyze the game between England and Namibia, and the one exciting game which was also played yesterday between Australia and Scotland. I will move my attention towards some of the stats that Babar Azam and some of the good players have managed to have. We compare Babar Azam to Virat Kohli, but when I look at his stats and compare it with Umar Akmal, I get to know that he is not even close to what Umar Akmal has done for Pakistan. Forget about Virat Kohli, because Virat Kohli's, and I'm talking about just Babar's records in T20 World Cup, because those are more relevant, because we are known to play against minnow teams like Zimbabwe and Scotland, because we don't get to play against big teams much. And even if we play against big teams like New Zealand, they do not send their A players in the bilateral series against Pakistan. So these numbers are quite relevant. Why I'm saying that we can't compare Babar with Virat, because Virat's average in T20 cricket in ICC T20 tournaments is 67, and Babar's average is only 27. And if we talk about the strike rate, Babar's strike rate is only 112. So it's better that we compare Babar with Umar Akmal or this kind of a player, or senior Pakistan players who have represented Pakistan, and they were also being compared with Virat at their time. So if we compare Babar with Umar Akmal, Babar has scored 552 runs in 16 games for Pakistan, and Umar Akmal has scored 591 runs. So the number of runs are higher for Umar Akmal. If we talk about the average also, because Rizwan and Babar are being considered as somebody who have great averages in T20, but that's not the case. In T20 World Cup, Umar Akmal has the average of 34.76, whereas Babar is only managing the average of 27, which is much lower than Umar Akmal. If we talk about the strike rate, we know that his strike rate is the biggest enemy of Babar Azam. His strike rate is only 112 in T20 World Cups, whereas Umar Akmal used to play with the strike rate of 127. We will also have to consider the fact that Umar Akmal was playing around 5-6 years ago for Pakistan, when the targets of 150, 160 used to be the good targets, and players who were playing at 140 strike rate were used to be the world's number one players. So this also goes with Umar Akmal. And if we compare the number of sixes scored, Babar has only scored 7 sixes in ICC T20 tournaments, and we know that nowadays there are teams like Nepal, Netherlands, USA, all of these minnow teams are also playing in the T20 World Cups. But at the time of Umar Akmal, these teams were not there. Also, in terms of man of the match, Babar has never been the man of the match in ICC T20 tournaments. Very, very surprising. But with Umar Akmal, he was man of the match or player of the match in T20 World Cups for 3 times for Pakistan. So it's better that we do not compare Babar Azam with Virat Kohli, and rather we should compare him with Umar Akmal. That will be a better comparison. So a lot of things to be considered, because we expect all of these big players to perform at the time when it's needed, when your country's reputation is at risk, when you're playing against teams like India, who we have a big rivalry, and this also has big impact in terms of what can happen to Pakistan cricket in the future if we play against India and win those games. So a lot to talk about Pakistani players and how they have performed. I have already put up a question in front of you as to who you think should be the next captain for Pakistan if Babar Azam is asked to leave the captaincy. And we have seen internationally also a lot of big players like Virat Kohli, and at the if we go a little bit backwards, even Sachin Tendulkar didn't turn out to be a great captain. So he did not prolonged his captaincy. He came out of the captaincy, and we saw that he focused on his batting, and eventually he became what he is. Alright, so we'll talk about these stats further, just to show you guys as to where our players are standing. And coming back to the game between England and Namibia, England managed to win that game by a big margin of 41 runs on Duckworth-Lewis method. We were analyzing, actually looking at the England batting. Harry Brooks in the middle order managed to score 47 of 20. Johnny Bairstow, who I told you that who basically gave the innings some momentum after the openers got out, he scored 31 of 18. And we've seen that all of these players are batting at quite a great strike rate compared to how other teams have been playing. Moeen Ali, he also scored 16 of just 6 balls. So and Liam Livingstone also, who is expected to play very fast for England, he managed to do that, and he scored 13 of just 4 deliveries. So because of the performance from all of these, Harry Brooks, Bairstow, Ali and Livingstone, England managed to score 122 in just 10 overs, and they conceded 5 wickets. There were 3 games that were supposed to be played. One was washed out between India and Canada. Why it washed out is because it was supposed to be played in Florida, where there has been no games being played, and a lot of games, important games, were scheduled there. But ICC should be asked questions as to why they scheduled these games in Florida, where the weather was supposed to be so bad for so many days. And we saw that because of this abandonment of matches, Pakistan had to, not just because of that, Pakistan also performed so badly against USA and India, due to which our team is going to come back on 16th of June without playing a single game in the conditions of West Indies. And why I'm emphasizing on this point is because we selected the entire team based on the fact that we had to play in West Indies, because we expected and we were complacent enough that we'll win all the games in USA. So Saim Ayub, Azam Khan, even Imad and Amir were part of the team, mainly because of the fact that we had to play this World Cup in West Indies and USA. But we are coming back only after playing in the USA. No matches for us in West Indies because we did not qualify for the Super 8. And with this disappointing performance, we are talking about a lot of the things that are going after this dismal performance from Pakistan. And one of the talking thing in the circuits right now is who is going to be the captain in the white ball format for Pakistan. Although this news is also in right now that Babar could continue to be the captain until the Champions Trophy next year, which is supposed to be hosted by Pakistan. But you never know, because with this kind of a dismal performance, and also we shared with you the stats of Babar Azam as a captain, not just as a captain, as a player. He's not done so well for Pakistan in T20 ICC T20 tournaments, and he's played so many games, and he's been captain for Pakistan since 2019, when we used to be the number 1 team in the world. Now we've become 7th position team in the world, and for the next T20 World Cup we'll also have to play Asia qualifiers to qualify for the next round, and we'll have to play with the teams like Nepal and all the associate teams to make sure that we qualify for the next year's, or rather next T20 World Cup. Coming back to the captaincy thing, I've already requested you guys to chip in with your messages on our WhatsApp number that you already have. Some of the messages that we have received are supporting Shaheen Shah to be the next captain for Pakistan, who we have seen that who became the captain for a short time, for just 2 series, and after that Babar was handed over the captaincy again, and Babar was taken off from the captaincy after his bad performance in the 2023 50 overs World Cup. But with the change in PCB management, and when Mohsin Naqvi Saab became the PCB chairman, he brought in Babar as the captain again, and we've seen that after that there has been grouping in the team. And but you guys are saying that Shaheen Shah should be the captain, but my question is that after Shaheen Shah became the captain and when he was removed from the captaincy, his performance has been very bad. I mean, this game is a team game. If you are denied of the captaincy, still you should play as a team member, and we saw that Shaheen's performance has not been that great after this captaincy fiasco. So this is one question that I have in mind, but you guys have a point, because Shaheen Shah has made Lahore Qalandars win 2 back-to-back titles, so his captaincy has proved to be something where he has won some trophies. But if we talk about Babar, he has never won a cup for Pakistan, neither in under 19, neither in 50 over format, nor in 20 over format, and his own performances have also been lackluster. So I think it's right time for Babar to focus. We know that he's a great servant of Pakistan. His batting style is outstanding. So but now the time looks to be the one where he has to focus on his batting more, and we have seen historically as well that players of his caliber, when they do not do well in captaincy, they come out of this race and they focus on their batting, because with his batting he can serve Pakistan for a long time, and we need somebody like him, especially in a 50 over format and in the test cricket format. When I look at the game between England and Namibia, I actually understand as to why this T20 format is so challenging, because you have to play according to the situation and you have to adapt to the new condition very quickly. We saw that England were so well prepared for this game. They managed to score 122 in just 10 overs. The game which was affected by rain and DL method came into play. They managed to hit 8 sixes in the game. And remember, Namibia is not a very small team. They have players like David Wiese, who has the experience of playing in a lot of leagues, so they are a good team. But England proved as to why they are a number 1 team in the world. And also you get to understand that players like Steve Smith, who's been such a big player for Australia, is not in this format anymore for Australia. Similarly, Ben Stokes, who was instrumental for England in the last T20 World Cup, is not there with England this time round. So we'll have to change our mindset. Pakistan will have to change their mindset, and they will have to focus on developing more and more players, because right now when we look at Babar and Rizwan, we do not get to see other players, and we do not see, I mean, though we have players like Saabzada Farhan, and when we talk about left-hander batsmen, we have Hasibullah. We had Haris, who was instrumental for Pakistan in last T20 World Cup, where he played so well against the game against South Africa, even against Bangladesh game, which was a must-win for Pakistan. He came out to bat and scored quick runs. So the format is very challenging. You have to adapt to the situation very quickly, and for that you need to have those kind of players, and you can restrict players like Babar and those players who play with a different mindset for longer formats like 50 over format and test cricket. What do you guys think about it? You can also tell us. You have our WhatsApp number. You can also give your feedback as to whether we are thinking in the right direction, or you think that Babar, Rizwan and likes of Iftikhar should continue, because Iftikhar also, we have seen that he's struggled in the fielding department. He could not manage to grab the important catches in the slip quadrant, and we felt like that he was not there in the games. So a lot of questions on him also, because he's played about 70 games for Pakistan, but we can't remember his performances as a finisher for Pakistan that much. So coming back to the game between England and Namibia, like I said, this game also tells you as to what kind of team you need to have and what kind of bench strength you need to have, because in this game we saw that Mark Wood and a player like Mark Wood was not playing in this game because they knew this condition does not require a brisk pacer to be in the side. So good captaincy from Butler in terms of selecting the team. If we look at the individual performances, Harry Brooks came to party. He was the man of the match in this game. But when Namibia came to bat, we saw that the bowling from England was also outstanding. Jofra Archer bowled 2 overs. He conceded only 15 runs and took 1 wicket. Chris Jordan, he was a little bit expensive. He conceded 19 runs, but he also took 1 wicket. And Reece Topley was outstanding in terms of the economy rate. He just conceded 6 runs in the 2 overs that he bowled. But from Namibia, Van Lingen scored 33 of 29. David Wiese, who we spoke about, that he has been a great player for Lahore Qalandars, the PSL side. He scored 27 quick runs of just 12 balls, and Nico Devin managed to score 18 of 16. But eventually this effort from Namibia was not enough, and England got the win that they needed to qualify for the next stage. And it's also good for the tournament because we expect all the big teams to be the Super 8, for all of the games in the Super 8 to be very exciting. But great to see England side to fight so well. And do not forget that Scotland already had 5 points before these 2 games were played. Even if one of these 2 games, the one between Namibia and England and the one between Australia and Scotland, if one of these games would have washed out, England would have also been out of the tournament just like Pakistan. But luckily for England, both these games went on and both these games produced the results that England wanted. So England has qualified for the next round. When we come back from this break and song, we'll talk about the Australia and Scotland game, which was kind of a nail-biting game because the game ended in the last over. All of the groups have been settled down except for the Group D, where Bangladesh and Netherlands have to play their games today, and one of these 2 teams will qualify for the next round along with South Africa, who has topped this Group D with 4 matches and 4 wins with 8 points. So tonight 2 games are supposed to be played, one between Bangladesh and Nepal, and we have seen Nepal has given a good run to South Africa to win the game. So this game is going to be exciting, and we've seen that Bangladesh has done so well in this group, so it's expected that they're going to win. If they don't win, then Netherlands gets the chance to qualify for the next round. They have the game with Sri Lanka tonight, so Group D will be settled down after these 2 games today. But the likely chances are that Bangladesh is going to make it to the next round, because if Netherlands wins against Sri Lanka, they have to win big. They have to win by a margin of 50 runs to qualify for the next round, which looks to be a difficult task. But again, credit goes to these minnow teams that they have done so well in this tournament. We've already seen that USA qualified for the next round. We saw that Scotland gave a tough time in the group to England, and they played a great game against Australia and other teams as well. So we'll continue talking about the games in T20 World Cup. Time right now for me is to say goodbye to you, all of you guys. Keep listening to City FM 89 and enjoy the remaining songs in the show. I will see you guys all tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow.